Y'all, what is good? What is poppin'? It's your boy Molding Greatness, and we are back again with another video, baby.
Goddamn. Yes!
And if you're looking at the title and if you're looking at this poster, you kind of got a hint of what we're about to get into right now. Anything to do with theater, acting, all that good stuff. I'm gonna let you in on. I'm gonna let you guys in on my experience, my theater experience, and my experience with doing 2 shows at the same damn time. At the same damn time, y'all. So,
Okay.
without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm not gonna lie, y'all. This has been a long. This has been a video that I was supposed to do a long time ago, y'all. I was supposed to put out this video. You know, shoot. I don't know, y'all. I should have put this out a long time ago. As soon as the 2 shows were done, I should have been knocked this out. But it's all good because we're here now. We're here now. We just got to do it. So, and I know this video may help a lot of people out there who are actually trying to get into theater, or they're thinking about getting into theater, and you know, they just want some insight onto, you know, the process and you know, just everything with theater, you know, just getting into it and how to get into it, and you know, the pros and cons of getting into it, and just everything. We're gonna kind of highlight all of the things that I went through, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and all of that good stuff. So I do have a list of questions that I wrote for myself just to kind of guide me through this, because I don't want to just go off on a tangent. You know, that's probably what's gonna happen anyway. But how did I find out about the show? Or shows that I'm doing, that I've done. So first and foremost, the shows that I've done, I did 2 shows at the same exact time, y'all. So the first show was being Once on This Island. It's a Caribbean musical. And then the second show that I did was Dreamgirls. So most people know about Dreamgirls, you know, if you've seen the movie, but a lot of people don't know about Once on This Island, which I honestly didn't know about it. I actually was, a friend of mine, a brother of mine, actually told me about Once on This Island. That was actually his first show, because he does theater and he's an actor as well. But yeah, he actually told me about the show, and he told me to audition for it. And he also told me about Dreamgirls as well. So those 2 shows I kind of had in mind at the beginning of this year. We're now in August, but I found out about these shows, I think back in like December. And I had already had it on my calendar, like, okay, I need to audition for these shows. I need to make sure that I have it on my agenda. Even if I don't get both shows, I knew I wanted to get at least one or the other. So that's what I was gonna do. That's how I found out about both of the shows, honestly. So yeah, it didn't come to mind that I would do it at the same time, because I didn't think that I would book both shows, honestly. It was just a matter of just me just auditioning for both of them. Well, really the first one. So the first one was Once on This Island. I think that was back in like auditions was back in February or March of this year, and Dreamgirls audition process started back in, I think, May, or towards, no, I lied. I think it was towards the end of March. April, May, March. No, I'm sorry, April. I think it was April. But so I had an audition for Once on This Island. I got the part. Mind you, now I had already I have on my calendar that Dreamgirls is coming up as well. That's in June, but audition started I think like March or something like that, y'all. I don't remember the exact date, but I knew it was gonna align with Once on This Island at the same time. So I knew I was gonna be a part of it. If I would have made Dreamgirls, which I did, it would have been along the same, you know, doing the same duration of Once on This Island. So I would have been doing both shows at the same time, which is actually what happened, because I ended up auditioning for Dreamgirls, doing rehearsals and the start of the show for Once on This Island, which a lot of people kind of like looked at me like, what are you doing, bro? Like, why would you do that? But honestly, for me, I already had that on my agenda, and I wasn't gonna back down. I don't like to back down from things, and I like a challenge for myself. So I was gonna do it regardless of what happens, you know. And I ended up booking that audition as well. So yeah, that's That's what happened. Did I have any prior theater background or acting background before taking on these two shows? Honestly, no. These were my first two shows, two theater shows, two musicals. And I'm actually from Miami. A lot of you know me, a lot of you may not know me. I'm from Miami. I moved out here about a year and some change ago to pursue acting, to pursue, the craft and everything like that, and actually to do this. So I didn't know, I'm not gonna say I didn't know anything about theater, but as far as like actually doing theater, like really doing shows and whatnot, I didn't have that type of background. These were my first legit shows. The only thing that I've done was back in high school. It was a theater show that was going on, and it was I did lights production and whatnot, but that doesn't really count because I'm not actually on stage acting and doing all of that good stuff. So nah, this is my first theater show, and it was crazy. Both shows were crazy. Do I have any singing, acting background? So as far as acting, I actually really don't have an acting background, which is ultimately why I moved out here in the first place, because Miami, I wasn't really doing anything down there. I felt like there wasn't really anything for me to really that's gonna help my career, and as far as acting wise, and that's gonna help me take off into what I'm trying to do, which is acting. I didn't feel like it was anything down there for me. I feel like you have to be established, you have to be financially stable, and all of that good stuff. So I felt like Atlanta was gonna be the route for me. And actually, the friend of mine who actually did Once on the Island as well, he told me about Atlanta, moving to Atlanta, which is actually why I'm here now, and he's doing the same thing as well. So that's actually why I moved out here, y'all. So I don't have an acting background. I don't have an acting being in me. Well, no, I lied. Let me not lie about that. I do have acting inside of me, but as far as just actually booking gigs and whatnot, I've never done anything like that. But yeah. So, but I've never been shy of the camera. I've never been scared to be in front of the camera or anything like that. Because if you follow me, if you guys know, I do skits as well. So I'm very social media heavy. So I've never shied away from the camera.
Stop the cap.
I grew up in a time where I was on stage all the time. Like back in church, I was on stage all the time. We did a lot of plays. We did a lot of skits and stuff. So I was exposed to that. Even back in high school, I didn't get a chance to really do theater until 12th grade, y'all.
Damn.
And by that point, it was kind of too late. And the teacher, she was just like, why did you get into it so late? This, that, and the third. But honestly, it was really because I couldn't pass that damn FCAT, y'all. Those of us who are getting old and who is alive and know about the FCAT back in Florida too, because it's not out here in Atlanta. I think you guys have something else, but in Florida we have something called the FCAT where, that thing was hard. At least hard for me. I'll either pass one or not the other. Was reading and math, and I would either pass reading and would have passed math, or I'll pass math and not reading. So I ultimately ended up taking like intensive classes, which kind of deterred me from taking theater, because if I would have taken theater at ninth grade, y'all, y'all, it would have been a wrap. But it doesn't matter because it's all a part of the journey, and things happen, y'all, and things happen for a reason. So don't get deterred from that. If you think that it's too late, or you feel like you're starting off late, or it doesn't really matter, y'all. As long as you still got breath in your body, go for it. What role did I play? So as far as for Once on This Island, first of all, let me just tell you about Once on This Island. So for those who don't know, it's a Caribbean musical. Okay, just think about it as like, if you've seen Little Mermaid, it's literally like the Caribbean version of Little Mermaid, y'all. Two families, one from poverty, and one from a rich family. Basically, a little girl, she falls in love with a rich man. She falls in love with a rich man, and ultimately it was designed from the gods. The gods are the ones who set it up. They casted basically a bet. They casted a bet, and that said that who would come out stronger, who would come out on top, whether it be love or whether it be death. And we're gonna see who's stronger. Is it death or love? And ultimately, Timon chose love. And from there, it goes on a whole roller coaster, a whole journey. her journey. Her name is Moon, by the way. And it's a very beautiful musical. So if you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. But I played the main character, Daniel, which is the rich man. So I don't want to give too many spoilers, but that's kind of if you've seen Little Mermaid, it's kind of like that, but it's just the Caribbean version of it. So it's gonna be a lot of Caribbean songs, a lot of like Caribbean beats type of thing. So yeah, so it was really good. It was really fun. Dreamgirls, a lot of you should know about Dreamgirls, and if you don't, you probably should. You should, honestly, if you've seen the movie, you know about Dreamgirls, of course, obviously. But the musical is based off of the movie. However, the musical, I feel like it kind of tells the full story of Dreamgirls. So it kind of gives that. It just fills in the holes from the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, then the musical will definitely, bring out the whole entire story from the ground up. But basically, the musical is about three girls. I think they're from Chicago, New York. I totally forgot, y'all. But basically, they're trying to get into the music industry, and they come across a young man or or young man in my case, which is Curtis. That's what I played. I played Curtis, and he basically has a dream to get them in there, by any means necessary. And he kind of steps on toes, breaks hearts, and does everything in his power, to get them in there. And a lot of things happen, relationships get broken, businesses get broken, and it just takes you on a roller coaster. And I don't want to give you all any spoilers, but you should definitely check it out. But that's basically what it's about. And it was dope, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. It was very, very dope. What made you decide to do two shows at the same time? Honestly, like I said in the beginning, I wanted to challenge myself, y'all. I really wanted to challenge myself. I feel like if it doesn't challenge me, it's not gonna make me better. And by doing two shows at the same time, it definitely made me better, because I had already was doing Once on This Island. And keep in mind, I had already knew my lines for Once on This Island. I had to learn my lines, of course. Once I knew those lines, and I had already booked the role of Curtis for Dreamgirls, I had to learn those lines. And the lines for Once on This Island compared to Curtis and Dreamgirls, big difference, y'all. I'm talking about Curtis, like I had a thick book of lines, y'all. And I had the most lines out of any character in that show, because I was on stage the entire time. I didn't have time to like really get breaks or anything like that, for the most part. And with Once on This Island, it was a lead role, but it wasn't a significant of a character, because it's 2 acts, but I didn't really act or talk or speak like that until like Act 2. Act 1 was more so just singing and dancing, but I didn't really like act and have lines until Act 2. But in Dreamgirls, I had to act throughout the entire thing. As soon as the show started, I was acting, I was speaking, I was talking, I was on stage, everything. So, that's why I did 2 shows, y'all. I just wanted to challenge myself, and I just wanted to do it, honestly. And my mindset, being out here in Atlanta, is that I want to do anything and everything that I can to get to where I want to be. And I feel like this was definitely a start. And it definitely helped me to get better, definitely, because learning lines while doing another show is crazy, especially when you have a lead role of that caliber, which was Curtis. Like, man, that was a lot of lines, man. That was a lot of lines, y'all. I'm not even joking. What was the rehearsal process like? So the rehearsal process, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Theater is not for the weak. Let me just say that. Like, theater is not for the weak. Like, you have to really love the craft. If you don't love the craft, like, it's not gonna help you at all, because the process of rehearsals was like damn near every day. Like, we had rehearsal Monday, Tuesday. I think we took a break on Wednesday, and then we started back up Thursday and Friday. And sometimes on the weekend, sometimes on Saturday as well. So if you're working, if your schedule doesn't align with that, it could be hard. I'm not gonna lie. Like, for me, so once I started doing Once on This Island, I think, so I work as well, y'all. You need a job. If you need a job, if you need to fund your career, That's just to be realistic, y'all. If you don't have a job, it's gonna be kind of hard. You know, you gotta get to take classes, you gotta pay bills and all this good stuff. So I do have a job. So I get off at about 5. I start at 8 and I get off at 5. From there, we had a rehearsal at about I think about like 7 or 7:30, and then we didn't get out of rehearsal until about 9:30. So that's a 2-hour rehearsal. So from coming from work, I would literally drive to rehearsal. Sometimes I went home, and then other times I didn't. And then it was far. It was pretty far too. So I think it was like all the way in McDonough, and I live in Jonesboro. So for those of you that know, I think it's like a 30-minute. It's about 30 minutes or so drive to get there. So just picture that from work. You're going straight there. So if you're tired and stuff like that, that couldn't affect you a little bit. That's why I said it kind of like it's not for the weak, as in like you have to have the mindset to really want to do theater. You have to have the will to do it, because if you don't, you're gonna make excuses for yourself as to why you shouldn't do it, and which is what I didn't do. But once I had the rehearsal, like it was tough, man. I'm not gonna lie, especially once Dreamgirls started. Once Dreamgirls rehearsal started, I was doing Once on This Island. So Once on This Island, I didn't finish that until about like May. I think the end of May, but by that point, Dreamgirls rehearsals had already started. I think Dreamgirls rehearsal started at about the ending of April or like the beginning of May. But I had to do Once on This Island. I had rehearsals for Once on This Island, and I had the show to do. I had the show to do once the show started for Once on This Island. So I couldn't even come to Dreamgirls rehearsals, y'all, until like a few weeks before Dreamgirls the show actually started, y'all. And I was hearing from I didn't find out later, but I was hearing from like a few of my castmates and even the director for Dreamgirls, they was worried. They was worried as far as like, man, is he gonna know his lines? Is he studying the character? Is he, doing what he needs to do to, be able to perform, and then also learning the songs, listening to the songs beforehand, before rehearsal started, or before I even come to rehearsal, because I had to get ahead of everybody else. I had to catch up. I had to do a lot of catching up. So I would say it was tough. It was definitely tough, but I had the mindset to do it though. I'm not trying to like brag or be arrogant, but I really did have the mindset. And it was a couple times when I was like, man, why did I do this? Why did I decide to do 2 shows at the same time, man? Because that was dumb. Looking back, it was kind of dumb, but at the same time, I'm glad I did it because it challenged me in the end and it helped me to get better, especially just by learning lines, y'all. I never learned lines like that before. I've done auditions, of course, and monologues and stuff like that, but I never had a significant amount of lines like that. I'm talking about like a thick book of lines, y'all. Each page of lines, essays of lines per page, like that type of thing. So it was very tough. It was very grueling. So the rehearsal process was tough, man. It was tough. Like I didn't actually start rehearsing. I think the only days I could come to Dreamgirls rehearsal once I finally started showing up was about. It was only Fridays. It was only one day, and mind you, now the other days I had Once on This Island rehearsal, and so yeah, I was only coming on Fridays. Pause. I was only going on Fridays. So yeah, it was tough. It was tough. How often did you perform? So we perform. So once everything for this particular theater is called Henry's Theater, by the way. We performed on the weekend, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No, I'm sorry, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. So 4 days of performance, y'all. So that could be tough with your schedule and everything. That could be very, very tough. I'm not gonna lie, it's very grueling because you have to rehearse before that as well. You have to rehearse up until the shows. So that could be very tough and strenuous. I'm not gonna lie, it could take a lot out of you, and I'm not gonna lie, it could take over your life. So that's why I said it's not for the weak, as in you have to be serious about the craft. You have to be serious about if this is what you want to do, because if this is not what you want to do, then it doesn't even make sense, because this is a lot. It's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take damn near most of your life. Just like how your job take over your life, it's gonna feel just like that. Like for real. I'm not even kidding. So yeah, we had to rehearse 4 days a week, for 2 weeks total. 2 weeks total for both shows. So yeah. So once those shows were done for Once on This Island, I had to literally like go hard in the paint for Dreamgirls, because mind you, now I didn't really get time to really study like that doing Once on This Island for Dream Girls. Because once I booked the role, it was literally just 1 day of rehearsals per week for Dream Girls. I could only make it on Fridays, but I had Once on This Island rehearsals Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays. And I think Dream Girls was like Mondays as well, Tuesdays as well, Thursdays and Fridays. But as you can see, I can only go Fridays. So that was the conflict. That was the that's what messed up everything. That's why I can only come.
Nigga!
I can only go on Friday. I keep saying come here, y'all. That's why I can only go on Fridays. So it was tough, and I can imagine like everybody worrying like, this is the main character Curtis, and he ain't here. Where this nigga at? So that's how it was. So it was the most challenging part. So that was, I would say honestly, learning the lines was the challenging part, and definitely juggling 2 shows at the same time, because literally rehearsing for both shows. I would say the good thing is, even though that challenged me the most, just as far as doing 2 shows at the same time, and then also learning the lines for Dream Girls. I would say at least the only good thing is that I had already knew my lines for Once on This Island. So once that was done, I literally like kind of put my focus. Once the show was going on for Once on This Island, I kind of like shifted my focus towards Dream Girls, and that's honestly the only technique that's kind of like the technique. I had to be strategic with it, because if I didn't like shift my focus, and I was still putting in my all into Once on This Island. Like once I get on show, once I get on stage and everything, like I'm giving everything I've got. But I had to literally shift my focus, y'all, towards Dream Girls, or at least half of my focus, if not 75% of my focus, because I have the main character of Dream Girls like this, and this is Curtis. Like he has to be on point, y'all. I have to do this. I have to know my shit. Like it was serious. It was like that, and I kind of like applied that pressure to myself, and that's probably the only good thing I could say, is that I knew my lines for Once on This Island, so I could literally have the leeway to shift my focus towards Dream Girl. So that was that. Pros of doing theater. I would definitely say for the pros of doing theater is, for one, it would definitely help you if you're like someone who is in your shell, and you're trying to be social, and or you have a hard time being social and things of that nature. This can definitely help you get out of your shell, because for one, it kind of puts you in a place where first of all, you're surrounded by beautiful people who are trying to do the same thing as you, people who you're gonna be on stage, y'all. But it kind of helps you. They help you through the process of being in that environment, and by being social, acting on stage, being lively, because theater is lively, y'all. It's not like movies and stuff like that when everything is cut off. And you don't get full body. Theater's full body, so everything is lively. Like the crowd has to feel you. The crowd has to feel your energy. They have to feel your movements. They have to hear your voice. They have to feel your voice. All of those things. But all of those things help you, y'all. It helps you to be more social. It helps you to be more energetic. It helps you to be just freely moving amongst people, amongst others. Because it just makes you better, honestly, man. And even with the crowd and everything like that, you feel that. It kind of helps you to get some confidence, to build your confidence. If that's something that you're lacking in, theater would definitely help with that, yo. I'm not even gonna lie. So that's definitely a pro. I would say another pro, acting wise, is that theater is the foundation of acting. So it would definitely get you better. It will, because you can't cut, you can't edit, you can't cut, you can't do another take. Once you get on that stage, y'all, it's live and uncut, man. Mistakes and all, you just got to keep going. You got to keep flowing, and that's the beauty about theater. So it's just like it helps you for like when you mess up to keep going. Obviously, in like movies and film, you can't mess up, but by those mess up, it's just gonna help you to get better. It's just gonna help you to get better, because by that point, if you're trying to do movies and whatnot, you're gonna have already gone through that process of messing up so many times, and all of the trial and error of acting on stage and just being lively and showing emotion with theater and everything like that, showing raw emotions, sad, happy, anger, tired, sleepy, hungry, all of those emotions tie into theater, man. And that's the beautiful thing about theater, man. It's very emotional, and you learn how to really be lively. you learn how to be lively, which first of all, your whole body plays into it. And that's why I think theater helps with that, because so when you get to like theater, and I mean, not theater, I'm sorry, film, commercials and all of those things, yes, you have to dial it back a little bit because you're on camera and it's not your full body, but by that point, you're gonna know what's up. The cons of theater, as I said before, like it's your schedule. It takes the only con I would say literally is that it takes over your schedule. It can play a big part into interfering with your schedule, whatever you have going outside of theater. Because like I said, it's every day for rehearsals, every day shows, every week. And this is just a community theater setting. I did it at a community theater. So on a professional setting, it's gonna be longer than 2 weeks. It's gonna be way longer than 2 weeks. So you have to keep that in mind. So that could play a big factor into your schedule. So I think that would be the only con of it, is that it takes over that. But like I said, it's kind of not a con for me, at least, because it's what I want to do. So I don't kind of look at it like that, but it could possibly be a con for you in that nature. If, like I said, if this isn't something that you're really serious about, that you really want to do, it could be like that for you. So yeah, cons of doing theater, that's why I said that would be the only con, and that's not really a con, honestly, man. So yeah, what did I hate most? What did I hate most? Honestly, just the schedule, the fact that you had to rehearse every day. But then again, it's not really a hate per se, but it was something that I'd be like, damn, I gotta rehearse. I'm ready for the show, like I'm ready for the show to start. So that's probably like the only thing. I was ready for the show to start once I got through the rehearsal process and just learning my lines. Because honestly, yeah, that's what I would say. Learning my lines was probably the part I hated the most, but it helped me to learn my character. It helped me to develop learning lines and learning different techniques as far as learning lines, and just learning a big chunk of lines at that. So the next time I get a big chunk of lines, guess what? I'm gonna be like, this ain't nothing. So I would say that'll probably be the only con, just having a lot of lines like that. The thing that I love the most, what I would say that I love the most about doing 2 shows at the same time and just theater in general, is that you meet so many new people, y'all. You meet so many new people, beautiful people. You build relationships with your castmates, with the directors, with the crew, the light crew, everybody. But for me, more so the castmates. Like I've developed friendships with people from both shows, honestly, and I still talk to most of them to this day.
To this day. To this day.
So, like that's really it's a beautiful thing, y'all. And then I don't know, just being on stage with those people, man, it was amazing. It was amazing with my castmates. Like just the acting on stage together, the singing together, performing together, crying together. Y'all, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna hold y'all, but I did cry after Once on This Island. I didn't cry doing Dream Girls. That was my second show. But for Once on This Island, y'all, I shedded a tear. On the last day of the show, I shed a tear, y'all. Your boy was crying. Your boy was crying. I was trying to hold it in, but I was just like... But yeah, so I would say that's definitely what I love the most. Just the camaraderie. That's not even a word, y'all. Just the relationship. It was a family, man. It was a family. And that's what we built. So that's what I would say I love the most. And just performing on stage. It's something different about performing in theater that just hit different, as opposed to like film and shows and commercials and stuff like that. Because like I said, you can't edit theater. Like feeling the emotions of the crowd, y'all, the energy of the crowd, that's something that I can't really explain. You have to like experience that for yourself. And once you do, it can be like a drug. It's addicting. And honestly, I'm ready for the next show to perform in, so I can feel that again. Like feel the emotions of the crowd, and when they're like cheering you on and ad-libbing and talking about you in a good way, not a bad way. Because I'm not gonna lie, just a like disclaimer for the 2 shows. Those 2 shows were kind of like hated characters. And if you watch both shows, Once on This Island and Dream Girls, you know why. If you know, you know. Just the feedback from the crowd, it was amazing. And just everybody telling me you did a good job. Like, I loved your character. Or I hated your character, but I loved your character at the same time. It was dope. It was dope. And it can definitely give you a big jolt of dopamine. Like, it feels so good. Like, I'm literally ready for the next big thing, y'all. I'm ready. Any tips that I would give? As far as any tips that I would give, like I said, I would say you have to want to do this. If you aren't serious about theater, or if you aren't serious about acting, the craft, You have to really be serious about it because it's not for the weak. Like I said, the rehearsal process alone, process of learning your lines, rehearsals every day, and you have to start off with theater for the most part. I mean, you don't have to per se, but it's honestly good because theater is the foundation of acting. A lot of the actors that you know today did theater. A lot of them still do theater to this day. There's a Washington, Samuel Jackson, Viola Davis, the girl from Power, she did theater. Keenan, the woman Keenan, she did theater. So many others, y'all. So many people did theater. Do your research. I promise you, I'm not lying. So when I say theater is the foundation of, like, you really have, it's imperative that, honestly, I recommend that you do theater. So I would say definitely a tip. You should definitely do theater. Get into it. Try it. Do it a few times because it's going to help you, man. You can't fake theater, y'all. You can't fake it. You can fake on TV and all that stuff, but theater you can't fake. You cannot fake it at all. And you can't run from it. So you can't run from the raw emotions and all that stuff. So I would say definitely a tip, do theater. Yeah, that's probably the biggest tip I would give. Honestly, that's the biggest tip I would give. I can't really think of nothing else, but yeah, definitely do theater if you can. There's a lot of local theaters out there. Just Google, do your research, see what local theaters are in your community, and go for it, man. It's gonna make you better.
Sorry,
trust me.
There's nothing to repeat.
Sorry, y'all. That's my Siri acting retarded. It's gonna get you better in the long end, y'all. I promise you. Trust me when I say. Don't take my word for it, y'all. Don't take my word for it. Just try for yourself. But you will see. I promise you it's going to help you to be a better actor overall. And it's going to mold you to be better, y'all. Mold in greatness. Are you auditioning for another theater musical? So, as far as musicals, y'all, to be honest with you, no. Unless something good comes along the way. Because I've already done 2 musicals, so I'm honestly looking forward to a play. The play that I have in mind that I want to do is Fences. It's going to be at the same theater, but that's next year. But it's so far away from now. So between now and then, definitely want to do more plays leading up to Fences because plays ultimately is just purely acting. So if you really want to just develop your acting skills, do a play. But if you're looking to do singing, dancing, and acting as well, then do a musical. That's why I would say the differences between like musicals and plays. Musicals is if you want to sing, you want to, showcase your vocals, showcase your voice, sing to the people, be bright and live on stage as well as acting. But if you just want to do strictly acting, which is I feel is going to make you better more so than musicals, then definitely do a play, y'all. Definitely do a play. And that's honestly why I'm going to do a play next. And what better play to do than Fences, y'all? That's going to make you Denzel Washington, Viola Davis, those names come to mind when you think of Fences. So it's definitely going to challenge me, and I'm looking forward to the next challenge, honestly. So, yeah, so that's it for this video, y'all. I think I went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but if you have any more questions for me, y'all, any more insight, I'm going to do more videos just like this, as well as my skits and songs and music and fitness videos as well. But if you have any questions for me, you can reach out to me at molding_greatness on all platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, all that, Snapchat, whatever. Just reach out to your boy. This is Molding Greatness. I appreciate y'all for tuning in with me today. Any questions or comments, concerns, feel free to comment below. And I'm going to see y'all in the next one, y'all. Appreciate y'all.